Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to BTS's Spring Day music video, and I'm also going to watch the Spring Day music video explained video, so I'm excited to get into this. I heard this song on their Tiny Desk concert for the first time. I really think it's a beautiful song, so I'm excited to see the music video. I feel like this is going to be a really sad music video because I know that the song is like really emotional and sad. Please don't make me cry today. Listen to that wind. It's like dead silent. So this is just maybe my movie brain. It might not have anything to do with it, but this shot really reminds me of a movie, Korean American movie called Snowpiercer, directed by Bong Joon-ho. It's about these people who are the last survivors on Earth, and they are on this train called Snowpiercer, and they basically are told that they have to stay on the train because the Earth has basically turned into this big like snowball outside, and if they get off the train, allegedly they won't survive. So they're just on this train that's continuously going and going and going. And this really looks like one of the scenes out of the movie, but maybe it's not. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Anyway.
보고 싶다 이렇게 말하니까 더 보고 싶다 너의 사진을 보고 있어도 보고 싶다 너무 약속한 시간 나는 우리 겁니다 이제 얼굴 한번 보는 것조차 힘들어진 우리가 여긴 온통 겨울뿐이야 8월에도 겨울이 와 마음은 시간에 달려가네 홀로 남은 설국
My heart is running on the time alone on the Snowpiercer. Okay, so I think they are referencing the movie. And I'm just gonna quickly go over the lyrics that I read. If we just go back, because I think like I don't know what this song is about, but I think it's either about a breakup, maybe, or me. Sorry, I know I'm going back, but miss you even though I'm looking at your photo, so that he's obviously looking at a photo of somebody.
너무 약속한 시간
Time's so cruel, I hate us.
이제 얼굴 한번 보는 것조차 힘
Seeing each other for once is now so hard between us, which kind of sounds like somebody is no longer present on the earth, because it would be hard to see someone if they've passed away, unless of course this person lives like far away now.
힘들어진 우리가 여긴 온통 겨울뿐이야
It's all winter here, even in August, so assuming he's saying despite it being summertime, it feels like winter and cold and lifeless because this person's gone and there's kind of like a void um, in their heart.
8월에도 겨울이 와 마음은 시간에 달려가네 홀로 남은 설국 열차
My heart is running on the time alone on the Snowpiercer. I mean, I don't know like what their interpretation of that is in this song, but maybe based on the movie and what it's about, maybe it just means like I'm constantly going like around and around in circles in this situation that I can't get out of because it's my reality.
네 손잡고 지구 반대편까지 가 겨울을 끝내봐 그리움들이 얼마나 눈치를 내려야 그 봄날이 올까 거울을 떠드는 자긴 먼지처럼 자기 먼지처럼
Oh, sorry. That was so cute. They were having like a look at RM's face. He's like waiting for the the snacks to hit him. And this kind of seems like they're reminiscing on like better days and like looking back on fond memories together. Will I get to you a little faster if I was known there? Yeah, I think this person has passed away. Now I'm reading more and more of these lyrics. So I think this is a song about someone that a person has lost and like missing them and grieving them. Yeah, it's a beautiful song. It really is. The chorus is just, I mean, the whole song's really well written, but the chorus specifically is just absolutely stunning. And yeah, like to see you, to meet you. So this is definitely someone that has passed away and they're wondering when they'll meet them and see them again, which is so sad. Don't make me cry today, please. Okay. Um, yeah, let's continue.
아니면 내가 변한 건지 이 순간 흐르는 시간조차 미워 우리가 변한 거지 뭐 모두가 그런 거지 뭐 그래 네가 네가 넌 떠났지만 단 하루도 널 잊은 적이 없었지 나 솔직히 보고 싶은데 이만 너를 지우게 그게 널 원망하기보단
This is really significant. I feel like all these clothes, it seems like this is like talking about the loss of more than one person now because there's just so many clothes.
말로는 지운다 해도 사실 난 아직 날 보내지 못하는데 난 꽃이 떨어져요 또
This is insane. I absolutely love this scenery. Beautiful. Just like this in the backgrounds, the lighting, Kim standing there.
조금씩 멀어져
Oh, and those are like, I feel like those represent like the people that he used to be close with. So maybe these are the people that have like passed away, and he's like kind of imagining them still there back then.
보고 싶다 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 얼마나 기다려야 또 몇 밤을 더 세워야 널 보게 될까 널 보게 될까 만나게 될까 만나게 될까 너 위로 my best friend 아침은 다시 올 거야 어떤 어둠도 어떤 계절도 영원할 순 없을 건지 비나 봐요 이 겨울도 끝이 나요 보고 싶다 보고
Stop it! Why are your music videos so sad and get to me? Oh, this is very, very touching. So are they it looks like they're in the sky. So are they like the people that like they represent the people that passed away looking down on Earth and looking down on the people who are still there, alive now. I was just wondering, like at the end, if that was them, like now in heaven, or if that's the people that passed away in heaven. But yeah, this like last part kind of seemed like they were in another place, and but then it also seemed like they were like paying respects to the people that passed away with the shoes. So yeah, I'm curious to see the breakdown and what it says the explanation is. So now I'm going to watch the BTS Spring Day music video explained. Interpreted this music video as a tribute to friends, family, maybe even, a lover that passed away. And members of BTS were basically reminiscing back on all the fond memories they had with those people and how it's torture waiting to see them again and just missing them and grieving, and how, they wonder how long it will be when they'll see them again and be reunited. So that's kind of what I took from it. But yeah, I'm curious to watch this video and see what the explanation is. Okay, so theory one is that this music video is a tribute to the Sewol Ferry tragedy. So I'm going to look this up actually. I don't know if it's going to explain later, but I don't want to miss it in case they don't come back to it. Um, so I think this was let me see here, a ferry that sank while en route from Incheon towards Jeju City in South Korea. And there were this is from Wikipedia, so I'm not claiming that these numbers are correct, but I'm trusting that they know what happens and they're reporting the correct numbers. But out of 476 passengers and crew, 304 people died in the disaster, including around 250 students. This is so so sad. Out of 172 survivors, more than half were rescued by fishing boats and other commercial vessels that arrived at the scene approximately 40 minutes before the Korea Coast Guard. That's really heartbreaking. I hate hearing about those things. So tragic. Oh, okay. So the boys represent all the survivors of the tragedy. Yeah, and thinking back on the lyrics, I wonder if it's kind of like a kind of representation of survivor's guilt too, like they survived, but they're thinking of all those lost ones, and when they'll see them again, reminiscing back on the times that they had with those people, their friends, family, loved ones, and but they're still alive, and it's really hard for them emotionally to deal with that. And I imagine that's, like for survivors, that is something that's really challenging to deal with. Being grateful and that you lived, but also feeling a real sense of sorrow for the people that, went through the same thing as you and are no longer here. So here Taehyung is feeling survivor's guilt. Yeah, I'm so smart. No, I'm joking. The guilt of having survived while his friends have passed. Yeah, many people who have lost their loved ones often feel like committing suicide themselves so they can meet the other person in the afterlife. Yeah, yeah, that's really tough. She feels guilty about surviving. I came out of this alive, but my friends didn't. Yeah, it must be heartbreaking, you know? Like, you feel like you were spared, but you just wonder, like, was it luck? Like, you probably question that every day. So it must be really emotionally draining. Mm. I didn't notice this. Okay. Yeah, so there's all these luggages up here, and there's clothes behind him. Yeah, I didn't notice that at first. Hmm. Those abandoned suitcases and clothes represent all the students who went on their field trip with all their belongings but never came back. Honestly, like, this is what I appreciate so much about BTS. Like, I'm still so new to them, but I don't think I can think of any other bands that have so much like meaning, inspiration, depth, and homage paid to people as much as BTS in their music videos. Like, I feel like they care so much about social issues and people and representation. There's just so much emotion and meaning in their lyrics. They care, and they like to represent like how people matter and the emotions and hardships that people go through. And it can be deep and dark and painful, but I think the fact that they're putting these kind of things out there just really shows like how incredible they are as a band, and what they want to represent as artists. And it's really, really beautiful and touching. Okay, it's widely known the Korean government has been heavily criticized by the way they handled the tragedy. The media didn't report the full truth. The families kept in the dark about what happened. Yeah, that sucks. When you've lost someone in such a tragedy, and it's just something that no one expects, you want answers, and to not have those answers is really frustrating, especially when you don't feel like you're getting the whole truth. Most tragically, the captain told the students to stay in their spot instead of evacuating. Most of the students drowned, while the captain and many crew members evacuated. Why would you leave them there? Why would you leave them there? That's just fucking horrible. Okay. I said I wouldn't cry, but that's terrible. Like, why would you do that? Like, you were trusted to look after those children. It's fucked up. In the lyrics of Spring Day, Rap Monster mentions Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer is a movie by Korean director Jong Eun-ho. The movie takes place entirely on a train. The movie symbolizes human society, where the people in the front of the train, upper class government, treat the tail of the train, regular people, in an inhumane way. Yeah. Okay, I need to take a minute, but I'm okay. Um, this isn't about me anyway. Yeah, so the movie, yeah, it does. It's just kind of this, like, I think that's one of the things that I really admire about Korean movies. They really have a lot to say about societal issues in Korea, and this movie does show the divide between upper class and lower class, and how the upper class like look down on the lower class, and it is really sad that they treat them differently and see them that way, um, and don't see humans as equal, especially as everyone's human. Your class, as it were, doesn't make you any less of a person, but unfortunately, I do think some people look down on people of lower class to them, which is sad that it still exists. You should just treat people at face value and for who they are. But unfortunately, people don't do that. They like to judge things based on status, which is the harsh reality of the world. But some people are like that.
Belong to the front. You belong to the tail. Know your place. Keep your place.
I believe this references a criticism to how young people and ordinary citizens in South Korea are expected to always follow orders, even if it means being oppressed by authorities, just like what happened to students on the ferry. Yeah, so it's just so sad too, because those students, I'm assuming they were younger kids by the sounds of it. um and when you have older adults telling you, "Oh, stay in your seat," as a child, you see those teachers or crew members as authoritative, so you're gonna follow what they say, but they lose their lives over it, and they trusted those people to keep them safe, and they trusted that they were telling them, the correct thing. So that's really sad that they just decided to leave them there. Like, I don't even have words for how someone could do that. I don't know what to say about that. That's just unbelievable. In the Snowpiercer movie, one guy finally decides to revolt against the injustice. Yeah, you do. So he sets out towards the front of the train to confront the train owner's government. Here, Rat Monster is doing the same thing. Yeah, go fucking do it, Rat Monster. You're the shit. Okay, so this is interesting. Amelia's is a, you just know that this is up from RM. I feel like, with how much he reads books, that this was his idea. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like maybe it was. So the synopsis of the book is: the ones who walk away from Amelia's, not Amelia's. My bad. Amelia's is the story of a utopian society whose survival and happiness depends on the suffering of a child. In short, it's about how someone's happiness and prosperity means someone else's suffering. There are two There are those who ignore the suffering to stay happy. Ignorance is bliss. Then there are those who walk away from it. Here, Hobie and Sugar represent citizens of Amilas. Amilas is full of people, thus no vacancy. Rap Monster represents someone walking forwards to confront injustice. I love him. Wow, I didn't obviously know when I first heard this song how deep and meaningful these lyrics really are and what they meant. It just makes me appreciate BTS so much more. Not afraid to represent minorities and injustice. This music video and song is really impactful. I'm actually curious, like, what the reaction was to this in Korea when it came out, and if people kind of put the pieces together and knew like what they were trying to say. The scene mirrors a scene in Snowpiercer when the main character reaches the middle of the train. He is attacked by people who would not let the rebels through. Although it looks like a fun scene. Yeah, that's what I thought. Honestly, I didn't get the Snowpiercer reference. I thought it was them reminiscing back on times with their lost loved ones where they were just kind of, uh, thinking back to times that they were having fun with each other. See Rat Monster's somber expression. He is trying to confront injustice in the society and government, but people are bringing him down, literally throwing things at him. Yeah, now I think about it, it makes a lot of sense. They're all throwing at him, right? And he's not throwing anything back. He's just like standing there enduring it. So they're like attacking him, and he's just kind of closing his eyes, waiting for the impact. Um, Kind of representing that he's like a suppressed member of society who is not on their level of like anger and hostility, and he's just kind of standing there taking it. Here, Jin represents the ones who have passed away. He looks up at all the others who are climbing up, growing up, while he is stuck at the bottom, unable to grow up and go up with them. This is so sad. This breaks my heart. Yeah. It makes you think about people that have passed away and if they can observe like what people on earth are doing, and it's just devastating to think about all those students and people that passed away not being able to grow up and have a life. It's really hard to think about. Okay, so the rusty merry-go-round behind Jungkook represents a loss of childhood. Yeah, I just kind of like thought that when I saw this, especially the scene where the people are like kind of seen behind him, going in and out and around him, and it kind of reminded me of like reminiscing back on times with friends when you're younger. And but yeah, the rustiness kind of makes sense too. I didn't really think about the rustiness and the like what that represents, but yeah, now they're explaining it, I do. The next few scenes are basically the survivors of the tragedy going about with their regular lives, having fun with friends, doing usual growing up stuff. However, they realize they still feel the emptiness of loss. Here, Jimin symbolically picks up the shoes of a survivor washed up on shore. Yeah, those are the shoes at the end, too. This upcoming laundry room scene is a very meaningful and important scene. Fighting back tears, an 18-year-old boy who spoke for the survivors said, "Grown ups are constantly telling us to forget and cheer up, but we will remember and recollect our friends. Because not forgetting them is what we can do at best, just as we will remember them, please don't forget about. Just as we remember them, please don't forget them." Yeah, it's just like it's really hard too, because like you when you weren't there and you've not been through that, you can't just tell people to forget and cheer up. Like that's not how it works. It's not how the world works. And when someone's grieving and they've been through such a tragedy and lost friends, that's like the last thing you should be saying to someone, you know? Like you didn't go through it and you can't, like there's no way that you can even know what they're going through and what it feels like. So how can you forget? Like it's not a good thing to say to somebody. You should just be like empathetic and supportive with what terrible thing happens and support them and help them remember their friends and celebrate their lives. Yeah, the mountain pile of clothes represent the victims. I thought it represented their clothes. Like when I saw all the clothes, that's when I thought, oh, okay, this is like maybe more than one person. In 2010, an artist named Christian Boltanski, I hope I'm saying that right, held an art installation, a 40-foot tall mountain pile of clothing. Each piece of clothing was deposited on top of the mountain pile, symbolically carrying the souls of those who inhabited the clothes to a higher place. This might have been the inspiration for the clothes pile. Wow. It's so heartbreaking too, seeing something like that, you know? It's just like devastating to think about people that have passed leaving stuff like that behind, and there's just like this real like emptiness when you see things like that. But yeah, I think the message behind that symbolism in the music video is, I mean, it's gut wrenching, but it's also like so powerful at the same time. As life moves on, the boys realize it's their duty to seek justice. The yellow ribbons behind are similar to the Sewol Ferry Yellow Ribbon campaign. Here, Tong finally wakes up and runs in the same path as Rat Monster to seek justice for what happens. Yeah, go fucking get him. Kick their ass. I love this. I love this so much. Okay, I just didn't know all the symbolism, and I am truly like I'm just truly like floored and touched by this music video and the meaning of it. Run, run! That's what that meant. I was like, I didn't know what that meant at the time. This is amazing. Oh my god, like you don't understand. Like BTS, what you have represented in this video is fucking incredible. I love you. I love you. I love you. Wow. The scene symbolizes that even if justice is achieved or not achieved, what's done is done. The dead will not come back to life. Ah, yeah, it's so true. But at the same time, I still think standing up for what's right is all we can do. We can just like be the best versions of ourselves and seek justice in situations where things like this happen, and it doesn't bring the people back, and it's just a devastating reality to come to terms with. But I still think doing what we can to seek out justice, even if it's a small victory for something terrible that happened, to ensure like it would never happen again. I feel like if we can do that as humans, then maybe we can bring like a bit of like light to the world in some way, you know. However, as long as we remember the ones who have died, they will live in our memories. Yeah. Here, Dongguk striking a match is reminiscent of the scene in Little Match Girl, an old fairy tale where every time she lights up a match, she sees her loved ones who have passed away. In the previous scene, he was alone, but after striking a match, he had everyone around him. Wow, again, just like a beautiful homage to those lost and to represent grief and love and sorrow. I didn't notice that, but wow, yeah. I didn't notice that, but yeah, now I see it. God, the symbolism in this music video is absolutely insane. But now seeing them go back and explain everything, it all makes sense. I feel like it's one of those music videos that people should probably watch a few times to pick up on all the little nuances and meanings of things for sure. I need to go back, I think, and watch again. In the Snowpiercer movie, the humans are stuck living inside the train because the world outside is completely frozen. It represents how many of us are stuck inside a society or government that is oppressive with no way out. I absolutely loved Bong Joon Ho's movies. He is one of the best directors, in my opinion, and I really think he is incredible, especially in his messaging in his films. He has a really high focus on societal struggles and class inequality. I think Snowpiercer is another great example of him representing that. I think it really does fit into this like music video as well, and this story about this terrible disaster. I think that this tragic story represents that in terms of, you know, children, students feeling like they need to listen to their elders because, you know, they consider that like the hierarchy in society, having to or feeling like you have to listen to other people um, who ultimately had the upper hand because of their status, and they, you know, left the boat and told them to stay there. I think that really parallels with like the message of this video and the Snowpiercer movie. However, one of the characters, a Korean guy, suspects that there is the possibility of life outside the train. There is a way out of the oppressive system. And you know who that guy is? Song Kang fucking Ho. That's who. I love him. He's like one of the best actors ever. And it had, of course, it was him that did this. And I love that it was. He saw a snowflake enter the train for the first time in many years. Snowflakes would not be able to form if the temperature is sub zero frozen, so he realized that somewhere outside the earth is slowly warming up again. There is hope for survival outside. Yeah. So he knew that they were lying to him, those assholes. In the movie, he is not well off, you know. He's towards the back of the train, but it doesn't fucking matter because he's smart and he figures it out, you know, and people should just, like I said earlier, take people at face value and get to know the person and who they are rather than judging them on societal class or whatever the hell people are judging for. And yeah, it's a really powerful moment in the movie, and I just think it represents to not judge a book by its cover. And it also represents, you know, when you feel like something isn't right or you're being lied to, and you just kind of have that gut feeling to believe your instincts. And just because someone might be considered of higher status, it doesn't mean that they have all the answers and they're right, you know. I'm curious now because I said when I watched this music video at the end, I was wondering if this was like them in heaven now, about to meet their friends, or if this was just them going somewhere to like pay their respects. I wasn't sure, but now I'm really curious what this part meant. Ah, I see. Here, Jimin steps out of the train, out of the oppressive system that is the society and government that had tried to downplay the tragedy. He invites us with him. Yeah, you're the shit, Jimin. You're badass. And we're coming with you. Oh. Oh. Okay. Yeah, and that makes sense why he puts the shoes up there of the survivor. Like this tree representing hope, a new life, a new spring day. So it is like paying his respects, but also feeling free. Like we're not going to be oppressed, and survivors are going to always remember, you know, those who are lost and have those people in their hearts forever. But also, they're not going to take it shit anymore, and they're going to push back and do what's right, and not be oppressed, and stand up for themselves and what they believe in. In many cultures, shoes are hung on trees to commemorate the dead. Just as we cannot forget them, we ask that the citizens of this country also never forget them. Okay, so I had to take a minute to gather my thoughts. And I've been going on this journey down the BTS rabbit hole for like 3 to 4 weeks now. And I can genuinely say that I don't think there's going to be another music video and song that impacts me the way that this song and lyrics and music video has impacted me. I am speechless, to be honest. It took me a minute to really like take everything in, and I am just like absolutely blown away by BTS and what this video represents, what the lyrics represent. I am just absolutely floored by this video, how tragic and beautiful it is all at the same time. You know, it represents sorrow, it represents grief, it represents happiness, looking back on, you know, friends, lost loved ones. And it is just such a tribute to people's lives that were lost in that tragedy, but also just as a whole. You know, I feel like if you've lost somebody, this song will just mean so much to you because the lyrics are relatable, and um, it really does represent someone who is like grieving deeply. And I'm just so impressed by everything BTS have achieved. The more and more I learn about them, and the more I see, you know, what they've done in the music industry and what they represent, the more I'm really proud of them. I think that they talk about a lot of issues that maybe um, some people would be afraid to broach, but I don't think that they back down. And I think they just are very moral as a group, and they have very strong, pure values. And I think that they want to speak up and do what's right. And they want to represent, you know, minorities and people that have been suppressed. And they want to bring those issues to light because they're important issues to address. I'd love to know more about like who came up with the idea of this music video, because there's just so much like depth and symbolism in this music video. It's stunning and heartbreaking all at the same time. And I'm really curious what the reaction to this music video was in South Korea, especially for the families of the victims. I would really be curious to know like how they feel about this song, and I really hope that it meant a great deal to them. I'm sure it did. um, because, you know, when you feel like you're not getting the full truth and you're being lied to, and you've lost people really close to you, I just can't imagine what they're going through, you know, not knowing the answers and the truth, and how torturous that must be to live with and feel like they never really get justice for what happens because they're not getting the full picture, you know. It breaks my heart that, you know, survivors were told to just forget and cheer up. You know, we all know that grief presents itself in different ways, but you never forget, like ever. And to be told to just move on is absurd, like insensitive. Like it's just a crazy thing to say to somebody that's going through that, especially when you've not experienced it yourself. And the survivor's guilt thing that they touched on in this video as well, I think is it's a real thing that people deal with, you know. And it's really tough on people that survive something like that, you know, thinking that could have been me, but I'm still here. And you know, they question all the time, well, why am I still here, why was I spared? And that guilt is strong, and it's really really tough to live with. So I feel for them too. I really admire that BTS touched on that side of things as well. Um, they've kind of covered all sides of the equation, and represented all people in the situation and their feelings. I feel weird to say love what they did here because this is such a devastating topic that they're addressing. I just love like that they've thought of everything and seen it from all sides of the story and represented, people living and how they feel, the people that have passed away and like how they must be feeling. Like when Jin looks up and he's someone that is representing, someone that didn't survive, and he's seeing all those people grow up and how that would feel if someone that had passed away could see all the people that they were friends with grow up and know that they're, not getting to do that, and how that would feel. I'm really glad I watched the explanation because there's no way I would have figured all of this out. Obviously, I got the Snowpiercer reference just from being a huge movie fan and how that scene looked, but I did not know that this was basically a tribute to the Sewol disaster and all of the meanings and nuances in this video. I think this song, the lyrics, the music video is something that I will never ever forget. I think it's gonna just stand out to me in BTS's catalog just because of the deep meaning this song has and what it represents. It's definitely made me see BTS in a different way. I mean, before my views on them were positive, but this is just taken things up a notch and then some. I just think what they're representing in the industry, how much they have to say about life and the human condition and emotions and all of that, and justice is so admirable and so impressive. And yeah, I'm just so proud of them and what they've achieved. And I don't think anyone in the industry is doing quite what they are. I'm so thrilled that I found them. I honestly feel like I found them at a time in my life that's really challenging. And I did see somebody say the other day to me that you find them when you need them the most. And I think that really rings true for me right now. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you to who suggested I watch the music video and then the explanation. I'm so glad that I did. I'm still floored. I'm kind of speechless. I know I've been talking, but like, this is definitely going to take me a minute to recover from and just absorb everything. Um, but yeah, this is definitely, I think, their most impressive work in their catalogue, just for what this represents and how much meaning there is behind this song and how incredibly like stunning and beautiful it is and what it represents. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for suggesting this for me to watch. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for being here with me. It means the world, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.